The iPhone 6 is not only here, it's got a big brother to go with it. Thus, Apple's just getting caught up on what's been a trend on Android for like 2 years now. Nowadays, everyone has an iPhone. Though if they don't, they probably know someone who does, and they aren't able to use features like iMessage, which is a huge selling point. Apple has always thought that the iPhone is the future of Apple, and they really should, with the iPhone 6 and iPhone 6 Plus selling over 10 million devices in the first 3 days. It's got an all-new slim design as well as a brand new screen that is quite impressive. Of course, it's also bringing along previous features such as Touch ID and new ones too, like Apple Pay. I got the space gray iPhone 6 Plus with 16GB of storage for around $299 subsidized from Verizon. So, here's a look at what you get when you buy an iPhone 6 Plus. The iPhone 6 Plus comes in a big white box. From the packaging alone, you can already tell that this is going to be a massive device, and that's exactly what you'll find when you open it and pick up the phone for the first time. It's basically a giant iPhone. Other than the iPhone, the usual array of Apple freebie accessories are included inside the box. You have the Apple EarPods, the Lightning cable, the wall charger, and a bunch of manuals, as well as the Apple logo stickers. Nothing really different, but I hope that Apple changes the bundled earphones soon with the recent acquisition of Beats. Apple has moved away from the sharp edge and angular design of the iPhone 4 and iPhone 5 family, back to a shape that is reminiscent of the iPhone 3G and iPhone 3GS. The difference here is the focus on the aluminum and glass in the construction. The iPhone 6 Plus feels far more professional because of this. By deciding to retain the larger top and bottom bezels, the iPhone 6 Plus does little to minimize the size of the smartphone, where other manufacturers have worked to minimize the size outside of a large screen. Apple has decided to stay with a consistent design, and this has increased the bulk of the iPhone 6 Plus. The decision to stick with the Apple House style on the front of the phone has limited the potential design changes the larger screened iPhone could have made. 3 features on the iPhone 6 Plus are different to the iPhone 6. The screen is the obvious area, but Apple has also added optical stabilization into the camera, and a larger battery, presumably because of the extra volume available as well as requiring more power to drive a larger display. The iPhone 6 Plus is available in 16GB, 64GB, and 128GB. The A8 processor promises a 25% increase in performance, 50% increase in graphics performance, all while producing less heat. One of the advantages of software and hardware from the same manufacturer means tight integration and better performance. It's one of the reasons Apple CPUs can run at a lower clock speed than Android for better battery life. Speaking of battery life, you can easily get a full day, and maybe even 2 if you're lucky. Many regular users of the iPhone 5S couldn't even get a day out of their phones, so this is a huge improvement. The motion coprocessor has also been updated. Called M8, Apple has added a tiny barometer to sit alongside the accelerometers, geolocation sensors, and data recording facilities of the coprocessor. This should provide software such as Apple Health with much more personalized data from your activities to help analyze your lifestyle. RAM shouldn't be an issue, but with just 1GB to go around, the iPhone 6 Plus is somewhat slower than the 3GB in my OnePlus One and a number of other high-end Android phones. However, iOS is seen as a more efficient operating system, and iOS 8 runs perfectly fine on it. Its screen is 1920 by 1080, but due to deliberate quirk, renders everything at 2208 by 1242 before scaling down on the fly. Thus, it feels a bit like a stopgap in search of a higher resolution screen. With movies and TV, the big screen turns the iPhone 6 Plus into a mini tablet to enjoy viewing while on the go. Other specs include Wi-Fi 802.11ac support, which makes for even faster internet speeds. 4G and Apple Pay only NFC, for the time being at least, is also included. The iPhone camera is really good. Despite only having 8 megapixels, Apple has succeeded in creating a tiny camera unit that is capable of replacing just about every compact camera. The camera is what really makes the iPhone so good. It's just so simple and fast that grabbing the phone out of your pocket and capturing a moment happens more frequently than it would with the competition. Video is perhaps when the focus is at its most impressive, as the iPhone pans between objects in the foreground and background silently and smoothly. Finally, you have the 1.2 megapixel FaceTime camera on the front. It's a lot better at taking in light this time around, but the bottom line is that it's all you need for a video call, and it's been there for a long time. For those not familiar with iOS itself, or perhaps thinking about making the jump from big screen Android phones to an iPhone, iOS 8 is going to feel very straightforward. The iPhone 6 Plus has a few user experience tweaks that make use of the bigger screen. Firstly, the home screen can now be viewed in both landscape and portrait orientations. Then there are specific copy and paste icons built into the keyboard, as well as the ability to view a lot of standard iPhone apps in landscape mode. One weird tweak is the ability to get the top half of the phone's display to drop down, so you can still use it one-handed. A simple double tap of the Touch ID button drops the screen down so you can get to the top of it with your thumb. Also, not a huge number of apps have been updated to take advantage of the iPhone 6 Plus's screen resolution. This means that often they'll look a bit soft and smudgy. So, in summary, the iPhone 6 Plus won't disappoint. Should you buy it? I wouldn't recommend the iPhone 6 Plus for everyone. Try it out first, but I've come to love it. If you're interested in having a pocket-sized computer with you at all times, at the expense of some portability, give it a shot. Also, it doesn't bend. Anyway guys, if you like this video, please make sure to subscribe to my channel, as it really does help me out. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.